Good afternoon. We begin at 4 o'clock here with new developments in the twists and turns of this historic race for president. Thanks for joining us. I'm Dustin Grove.
And I'm Jenny Renovich in today for Felicia Lawrence. So it has been barely 24 hours since Joe Biden announced he is leaving the race and will endorse Vice President Kamala Harris to take his place. And today we heard from Harris for the first time since that news broke.
And she was at an event to honor this year's NCAA championship teams, and her focus was not on the election itself, but rather on praising President Biden. Take a listen.
And I am firsthand witness that every day our President Joe Biden fights for the American people, and we are deeply, deeply grateful for his service to our nation.
Please raise.
Since the announcement, top Democrats across the country have thrown their support behind Kamala Harris as well. We've heard from elected leaders from here in Indiana who've done that. She also raised nearly $50 million in less than 24 hours. Despite all of the support, though, it does not officially make her the new candidate.
So joining us now to explain how this entire process works is Aaron Dusso, political scientist from IU Indianapolis. So what has to happen here? Is there a chance that maybe someone else could throw their name in the ring?
There's still a chance, but as every hour ticks by, it's less and less likely. They needed to do it yesterday.
So how does this work? You have, 3,900 or so delegates, 88 from Indiana, others from other states. They all have to support a candidate. That's how the nominee is named, right?
Right, yeah, and they have to get a majority vote at the convention, and that's the person who becomes the eventual nominee. Right now, the rest of Biden's delegates are all free agents at this.
Mm-hmm. And so let's assume that Kamala Harris does become the nominee, right? The question is, who will she pick as a running mate?
Yeah, give us some insight into maybe what's going on in their campaign right now, which is a brand new campaign.
Yeah, what they have to be thinking about is how is this going to help us win? So you're talking about looking at battleground states such as Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, Georgia. Josh Shapiro, the new governor of Pennsylvania, is a big name that's being put out there, and he won by 15 points in 2022, which is a huge win. And Pennsylvania is absolutely must win for the Harris campaign.
So I hear a lot about the battleground states. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, who of course is an Indiana native, was the mayor of South Bend. He's been talked about as a potential running mate. Is the downside to that because he's not from a battleground state? Would he not bring enough support maybe as some of the others?
Right. I mean, VP picks don't typically do that much for a ticket except help perhaps in the state that they're from to get 2, maybe 3 points. Beyond that, they don't do a whole lot.
Okay.
So what does it mean for the Trump campaign? What are they thinking right now? Because it's brand new for them too.
Mm-hmm. The Trump campaign has to retool. They have to refocus. They just spent an entire campaign referring to Biden, and now they have to find somebody else and wait, and likely Harris, but they'll, maybe it's someone else. And they spent a lot of money on trying to defeat Biden, and so they have to, really start from ground, zero.
All right, and on what is normally a sleepy July, right? It's usually the slowest part of the campaign season.
This is supposed to be the sleepiest part, where we wait for the nominees to win at the convention, and then we go into the fall, and then it's hot.
Really fascinating and historic, though. So we appreciate your perspective.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us today. Okay, so we mentioned that Kamala Harris raised nearly $50 million for her campaign yesterday. A New York Times analysis shows that before Biden dropped out, donations were coming in on average less than $20,000 an hour. After stepping down, they spiked to nearly $11.5 million in one single hour.
Meanwhile, Republican vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance is making his first solo appearances on the campaign trail today. He's kicking things off in his hometown, holding a rally this afternoon in Middletown, Ohio. From there, he's headed to another rally tonight in Radford, Virginia, and he'll be here in Indiana in Fort Wayne for a private fundraiser on Wednesday.